Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Daggerfall Unity. Last time around we finally got our restoration up to 55, which means we were able to rank up in the Mages Guild and we finally can do enchanting, which I'm very excited about. So we're going to head over to the Mages Guild right now. Make sure we're going in the right direction here. I believe we are, yes. And there's also something else that's very exciting that we're going to be taking a look at this episode, which is that I'm currently using a new version of the Villager Immersion Overhaul mod. I was basically contacted and asked if I wanted to test out a new version of it for the guy who made that mod, and of course I was happy and excited to do so. So you may notice some changes. I'm not sure what all of the changes are, but I believe some of them involve new NPCs, a more big variety of NPCs in towns, and also like an appropriate number of civilians, depending on if it's a small town or a really big town. Because, you know, at the moment, if I went to like a farmstead, just like a small town, like a farmstead, basically there'd be a ton of people there that just doesn't make sense. So the new update's meant to fix things like that. So yeah, I won't talk a ton about it, but you may notice, for instance, right here we can tell this is an NPC that wouldn't normally be walking around, even with the old version of Villager Immersion Overhaul. So that's something to keep your eye out for. So let's head into the Mages Guild. Oh, we have to wait actually 2 hours. And now we can finally do some enchanting. Now, there are some things that we need to talk about with regards to enchanting, which is that there's something called Soul Trap, which, where is it? Let me see. Soul Trap. Essentially, you can cast this on an enemy, and you trap their soul, and then you can use that soul with an item to give it more enchantment points. But as you can see, it requires 287 magicka to cast, which I don't even have. So I'm not sure if I enchant something to enhance my intelligence, if that will up my mana, and then I can cast that spell, because it would be very nice to have the Soul Trap spell so that we can actually capture some souls and use them for enchantments. Another possibility is that we can make a version of the Soul Trap spell that's cheaper. I'm not sure if that's possible to do, but we can certainly investigate that. This is Daedra Summoning. We're in the wrong place here. Looking for either the spell maker or the here's making magic items. So as you can see, we have an option of all the items in our inventory to enchant. A good candidate might be our pauldrons, for instance, our greaves, because we have 2 pairs of greaves. And let's see what else we could enchant. One of our weapons as well might be a good candidate to enchant. As you can see, you can see the enchantment points, 0 out of 875 for this. And you can see that the adamantium daikatana has much more enchantment points than the mithril daikatana. And then ebony has quite a lot of enchantment points too, even more than the adamantium daikatana. And then of course we have this Daedric longsword, which has more enchantment points than anything. But ideally what we want to do is to get some trapped souls and use them to boost up how many enchantments we can put on any one item. This ebony flail, we don't really need this anymore, I suppose. So, and also we have, let's see, I think we have an emerald we can enchant as well. Let me see. Maybe it's in my wagon. But let's go and see about the whole Soul Trap spell. I think I'm not sure where the spell maker is. Here she is. Okay. So let's see, add effect, Soul Trap. So we can make, I'm not sure what the chances of this spell succeeding are, but this is cheaper than the Soul Trap spell that's inside of the store. So we could buy this. It's only 236 spell cost, and test it out and see if it works. I have no idea what the success rate would be. I know there's some sort of calculation we could do to figure that out, but I don't know. But what I'm actually going to do is save the game, and let's just try enchanting an item with that will enhance our intelligence and see if that increases our mana pool. So I don't know, let's just take some random item here and let's add a power. And I know that there's a way to make it enhance our intelligence. At least I think there is. Cast when held. It's probably a cast when held spell. Let's see. Wisdom, probably. Maybe that might be willpower actually. Chameleon, charisma. It's not gonna be any of it. Feet of Notagora. I have no idea what that does. Fortitude is probably endurance. Iron Will, or Iron Will could also be endurance. I'm not sure. Jack of Trades is luck. Maybe there isn't one for intelligence specifically. I'm not entirely sure. Let's check what wisdom does. I imagine that's probably willpower. Oh, it requires 12,000 though to enhance that. So clearly we don't have a strong enough enchantment points to enchant it with that. What else? Cast when strikes. Oh wow, there's like almost nothing. None of these seem to be. They all seem to be too expensive to use. So we really need to trap souls, I assume, to do this. But to trap souls, we need more magicka. Let's see if there's anything that we actually could. Cast when strikes, we could try Vampiric Touch. 1380 out of 1225. Oh, that's interesting. It says the total cost. Oh, I was looking at the total cost, not the enchantment points. So actually, my bad here. Let's go back to cast when held. Wisdom. Okay, we're good on this. Yeah, I was looking at the total cost, thinking that was magicka, but it's not. So let's try enchanting it with this. Oh, I don't. Oh, shit. I forgot to get gold out of the bank. Right, well, let's rush back over to the bank and withdraw some money. Let's see, straight to the west, I believe. Yeah, or the east. You can already see a much bigger variety of NPCs walking around here. And I believe that in cities there's more people walking around in this new version of the mod. And I know that, by the way, with regards to the Soul Trap spell, the amount of enchantment points that the Soul Trap spell gives you depends on what monster you soul trap. So like more powerful enemies tend to give you more enchantment points. And also, once the enchantment expires, whatever enemy you trapped within the soul gem will basically come out and attack you. So let's withdraw a letter of credit for like, I don't know, we might need a lot of money, right? Because we're doing a lot of enchantments here. So let's withdraw like 80,000. And now we can head back. And also some soul-trapped monsters come with disadvantages. Depending on what the NPC is that you're trapping. And this is all stuff that I had to look up. So I imagine when we're actually deciding what we want to trap, I'll look it up again and see what would be best. Let's see. Go straight up north to the Mages Guild. Alright. Now let's try this again. Let's save before we do this. Okay. So let's try. What we're going to do this, and then we're going to add cast when held wisdom. Let's try enchanting that and see what happens now. Let's see, inventory. I assume this probably enhances willpower. That would make the most sense. Let's see. Oh, it enhances intelligence. Oh, perfect. So it does what we actually wanted it to do. Now let's see if we... So does this increase our... Yeah, we have 300 spell points now that we can cast things with, which is enough to cast the Soul Trap spell, which is what we wanted to do. So that's actually really, really nice. So now if we buy this... let's see, if we bought the Soul Trap spell here... we should be able to cast it. Oh, right, we can't rest in here, but... yeah, if we got our magicka up by resting, we would be able to cast that spell. Okay, so that's very good to know. So I think for now... I'm not sure, do we want to get the Soul Trap spell now? And if so, what do we want to enchant with enhanced intelligence so that we can soul trap stuff. Let's go back and just consider this. I was just testing out whether... so... We have to keep an eye on the enchantment points for every item here. As you can see, a lot of them don't have many enchantment points. Ooh, our Daedric helmet has a lot of enchantment points, and I'd prefer to put armor with the soul trap spell because we want something offensive on our weapons, I assume, right? And actually, let's look at some of the offensive things we could put on our items. Cast Wind Strike would make the most sense. Magicka Leech, that sounds interesting. That's like lifesteal, but for Magicka. Vampiric Touch also sounds quite interesting. It's really expensive, though. I assume it's like lifesteal or something of that sort. Absorb Spells is obviously a really good enchantment. Extra spell points. Oh, this is interesting. During winter. Not very expensive. Cast when used. I don't like the cast when used enchantments very much. Improves talents. Athleticism. We already have that as a special ability. Increased weight allowance. 50% additional. That's actually not very expensive at all and could be quite useful in collecting items. It'd probably pay for itself. Potent versus Daedra. That could also be good. Vampiric effect when strikes. That could be interesting to try out. What else? Cast when strikes Firestorm. Cast when strikes Wildfire. Another thing that we can do is add side effects. So these are like negative things to put on our weapons or armor that will give us more enchantment points. And one that could actually work, I read about this on the wiki, is user takes damage in sunlight. Oh my gosh, that gave us a ton of enchantment points. And the reason that I was thinking of this is because we're only going to be using our weapon, or we can use this weapon just in dungeons. So we'll be fine so long as we don't have this weapon equipped. While we're outside, we'll just make sure to only pull it out in dungeons. So we can add a ton now based on that. Actually, I guess we could do both enhances skill. Oh wait, no, not enhances skill. We wanted to do cast when held, wisdom, and we can also do cast when strikes. I guess vampiric touch. We could do vampiric touch, or we could do energy leech. I think they both do similar things. I'm not sure. I think maybe vampiric touch drains health, and energy leech drains like fatigue, or like energy. Since we already have restoration to handle healing, we could do energy leech maybe. We might as well. Holy shit, it's costing a lot, but we could do more. Let's see. What else might we want? We could also, we could also do cast when held. Let's see. Orc strength. I wonder how good that is. That's probably pretty good. Absorb spells. We already have a spell absorption thing on, though. Good reputation with. That's pretty interesting. All. That must be really expensive. Let's try cast when held, or cast when strikes. We could try another cast when strikes. Maybe Magicka Leech? That's like basically stealing mana. But we already have spell absorption. Do we really need that? So maybe we could also do vampiric touch. We still have a lot more we could use. A lot more we could spend here. We could do cast when held. Orc strength also sounds good. I assume orc strength like increases just your strength stat though. You know, let's find out what orc strength does real quick. Okay, I quickly googled it, and orc strength does just basically increase your strength stat up high, which could be quite useful. So let's do that. Let's do cast when held wisdom. Let's do cast when strikes energy leech. And let's keep it at those for now. Let's try enchanting that. That costs a lot of money, but it should hopefully be worth it. And now that we have something that increases our magic, our mana really high, we can go ahead and buy magic items. And if we go down here, you'll see that these are soul traps. So what we want to do is buy a soul trap. It's quite expensive too. And then we're also going to want to buy a spell. We're going to want to buy Soul Trap, wherever it is. Let's see. Soul Trap, here it is. We're going to want to buy that. And now, if we go into a dungeon, we can actually trap the soul of a creature and then use that to increase our enchantment points with more of our equipment. So I guess it would be fun to go try out our enchanted sword here. I don't want to pull it out in the daylight because it will hurt us, but I assume in a dungeon it should work. Now, I actually want to go and do a Knights of the Dragon quest or two, because I know that there's a quest that requires 70 reputation within the Knights of the Dragon that allows you to get access to a dragonling that gives you like a ridiculous amount of enchantment points if you soul trap it, and it's only this specific dragonling for this Knights of the Dragon quest that will do that for you. So let's actually head straight to the east and then head up north. And it's about time we've done some quests for them anyways. We haven't done one for a while, and we're quite high up in our reputation, so I'd like to increase our rank there. And I believe that once you get maybe rank 9 with them, you get a free house, I think, in the city, which would be really cool. Up north. So obviously we're going to want to choose a quest that specifically puts us to a dungeon or directs us towards a dungeon. Let's see. Here we go. We don't. Well, I'm gonna check and make sure we don't have any new armor to get. Okay, got it. Let's save the game before we get a quest from them. 473. And now let's see what they have for us. Get quest. Holy shit, there's a lot. Witch Hunt. The Crow surfaces. That sounds kind of interesting. A formidable outlaw known as the Crow has surfaced in Daggerfall. We need someone well-trained to apprehend him and bring him to trial here. Will you do so? Yes. His hideout is the Yumsley residence of Ashfield Hall. The man is wanted in several provinces for indescribable crimes against civilization. Use any message to subdue him. I wish you could avoid the lethal method, but ultimately resistance calls for the ultimate pry bar. Okay, well, we don't actually want to do that one, because that's not sending us to a dungeon, so... the clumsy dark arcs. What about that? Commander, I have a few questions. Do you hate giants, the bumbling, violent kidnappers of farm animals and unaware townspeople? And do you hate the necromancers who raise up our ancestors in dark slavery? And would you hate a group of giant necromancers who can both squash their enemies and raise their spirits to fight for them? Yes, I do. Then go to Yumwing Tower. The existence of such barbarians with some skill in the magical arts is a great anomaly, one we have no need to tolerate. The Mages Guild has the duty to wipe Daggerfall clean of necromancy, and they find themselves in a state of temporary dereliction. They informed us that destroying the menaces of the townsfolk are our responsibility. If you wipe out this band of mage giants, I will inform our lordship of the Mages Guild failure to respond. Let us meet here again within 8 days with each of our tasks completed. I hope this doesn't mess up our reputation with the Mages Guild, but let's do it. Yumwing Tower, let's go. Yumwing Tower. I'm very excited to try out this enchanted weapon. I think we should also probably enchant some armor that has gives us basically passive magic resistance, because magic is going to start becoming footprints are everywhere. Big footprints. Giants incoming. Human. The Yumwing Tower appears to have been taken over by orcs. They waste no time for questions and begin their attack. Oh boy. Holy crap. Yeah, this is a War Matches event going on right here. We should probably save the game. And I think I should be able to pull out my enchanted weapon, because it is dark outside right now, right? So let's try equipping this and just see what happens. Alright, calm down. And let's see here. Yeah, our strength is up to 100. So I expect to be very strong here. And you can see energy leech stealing these guys' energy. The enemy is surprised by your prowess. They call for reinforcements. We'll take all of this. In the meantime... Holy shit, by the way, enchantments seem to have the potential to be very OP. In fact, I know what they are. Orc Sergeant out. And we are just so strong. We'll take all of this. We're going to dump everything here. Actually, we don't need even any of this right now, other than... Well, do we want our a backup weapon? I guess we'll keep one backup weapon. We'll keep our Daedric longsword, but everything else is going to go in the wagon. Take all that. The enemy is surprised by our powers. Reinforcements. Release the beast. The sound of metal rattling can be heard. One of the soldiers can be seen on top of a cage, releasing the latch on the door. Out of the cage come what seem to be tamed animals. Come at me then. Spiders? Tame spiders? Now that's just strange. I would have expected tigers or something like that, but spiders? That's just quite odd. I guess spiders in this game are intelligent enough to be tamed. Come on there. Alright. They should be sending out the leader to try and take me down soon. I've done enough of these War Matches encounters to know what happens in them at this point. Oh, there's still one more we have to take out? Alright. These keep encounters are very profitable, though. After the bodies of orcs fill the land, the leader busts down the door of the keep. Filthy human, I will peel the flesh off your bone. Come on, then. There's the leader. Burn in hell. The last words of the commander before he collapsed. You've won a victory over Yumwing Tower. The remaining orcs will still attack, but without their leader, they will not have the manpower to remain at this keep. They will soon disperse to leave in failure. After scavenging the bodies, you take your earnings. Holy shit, lots of money. Also, I should be using my healing spell. And that's how you massacre an entire army of orcs with ease. That'd be cool if I found some Daedric equipment in these, on these bodies somewhere. So far, nothing, but I'm feeling lucky. I have no idea how the drop rates work in this game, by the way. Like, what NPCs are more likely to drop certain equipment. I know that there are certain NPCs, obviously, that don't drop equipment at all. Things like Atronachs and animals, but amongst the humanoid NPCs are the ones that drop significant amounts of armor. I'm not sure if there's a drop rate difference or if it's just random or what, but I imagine Daedra probably dropped. Ooh, an enchanted pauldron. Ooh, a Daedric left pauldron. Oh, we already have one. That's so disappointing. But, oh, actually, this means we can enchant one of them. And this is perfect because Daedric is really enchantable. And we also have a enchanted left pauldron with unknown powers. So we'll take all of that. And thank you for all the items. Put this all into our wagon. And let's see. I think that's everything. I think we've scavenged all the bodies that we could here at this point. Just clicking frantically to make sure. Oh, no, there was a little bit more. Don't want to forget anything. Oh my gosh, was that an orcish flail? Well, we won't be able to use it, but that's quite worthwhile. I mean, quite valuable, so that we can sell that for quite a lot of money. Good thing we kept looking to make sure. All right, now we can finally approach the keep. And obviously we're going to want to put... Do we put everything in our wagon? Oh, hold on. Put all this in the wagon. We don't need any of this. Soul Trap, we'll keep that. We don't need this. We don't need this. We probably won't want to use that. We will turn on our lantern because it's kind of dark out here. And finally, we can approach the tower. And find the entrance into the Necromancer Giant Dungeon. Okay, so this is apparently the one. So let's save the game right here. 475, and I assume it's probably been a decent amount, so maybe I'll end things off here, and we'll immediately pick up next episode by exploring this dungeon. So thank you everyone for watching. I'm very excited to continue the Let's Play. Thank you so much to the person who's having me test out their unreleased version of Villager Immersion Overhaul. I'm super excited to be showcasing that and and checking it out, and I will see you all next time.